Good morrow, my lovely little ghosts, and welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and this is a mask making video. As I said in my intro, this is a mask making video. More specifically, I'm going to be showing you how I made my band-inspired face masks. So as of right now, it is mandatory in some places and suggested in others that you wear a face covering while you're outside. And they even have said it during White House press conferences that you should be wearing a face mask at the time of me making this video. This, of course, is to slow the spread of what's happening, and even though the face masks do not prevent you from getting sick, they do protect others around you from the droplets that come out of your mouth or nose when you cough or sneeze or breathe or shout. So they're a good idea. And honestly, I wear face masks already at conventions quite a lot. I wear a one-piece face mask, and it's super cute. It's just got the straw hat symbol in the middle of a black mask, and it loops around my ears. And it's one of my favorite masks ever. But I wear it at conventions to just mostly keep smells out, because sometimes at conventions, especially late at night when everyone's at the rave, things get a little stinky. So I like to wear my face mask at night, especially at conventions, but at conventions in general. So I'm no stranger to wearing a face mask out in public. It doesn't bother me. And of course, I do have face masks, and because I'm a seamstress, I know how to make some of them. But I've tried my best to alter my design and create some band-inspired, cute face masks. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I made them. Now, the guidelines say a face covering, and I've seen a lot of people mad that they're not giving face masks to the general public, and they're not doing that because it's a face covering. It's anything. It's a t-shirt. It's literally tying a t-shirt around your face. It's taking a scarf and using that. You could literally just take a scarf and wear it this way, and it still prevents your ickiness from getting on someone else. Another suggestion that they've made is bandanas. So please excuse the cat hair that's on literally everything I own, and let's just look at a bandana. You can easily use a bandana, and you get to dress like a bank robber for the day. Isn't that fun? It's now socially acceptable for you to wear a bandana like a Wild West bank robber. Plus, if you happen to have a really cool Iron Maiden bandana, it makes you look like you have Eddie's mouth. Love that. So those are 3 different alternatives to actually wearing a face mask, or a comfort mask as we call them at conventions. Comfort masks or fashion masks, depending on who you ask. That's what we call them at conventions because they're meant as more of a comfort to the people around you, or a fashion statement, wearing it with a cosplay. But today I'm going to show you how I made some band-inspired face masks. So without further delay, let's get started. I'm going to be showing you how I made a Black Veil Brides inspired mask first. So you need cotton, enough to fold it over and have 6 inches one way and 9 inches the other way for 2 different things. You can use a t-shirt. That's cotton. You need elastic or strings if you're one of those people that have to tie it behind your head. My mother actually ears don't have that top part. They just are really cute, tiny, round ears. So she has to tie her masks behind her head instead of wearing a mask that loops around her ears. So if you're one of those people, you can use string instead. And then they recommend you using some sort of interfacing or a second layer, or a thick second layer of fabric in between your 2 fabrics. But I used interfacing for mine. And then sewing skills, whether it be hand sewing, which takes forever, or a machine, which takes no time at all. So with those things, you can make these masks. But even if you're not going to make the masks, I suggest sticking around so you can see these really cool masks, because I'm really proud of them. First off, you're going to hear my voiceover as I take you through the steps of making the Black Veil Brides mask. So let's cut to that footage. Alrighty, tidy too, this is voiceover Laura showing you how to make a mask. First off, you need to cut a piece of paper. Doesn't matter what kind of paper, just a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard. You need to do it 6 inches by 9 inches. I've also got the centimeters laid out here. And you need to cut 2 of the fabric and 1 of interfacing if you have it. If you don't have interfacing, just use like 2 extra layers of fabric to make it a little thicker. And now I'm going to show you the different layers that I have. I have a black layer, a black and white layer that has music notes, and a white layer of interfacing. This is a very thin interfacing. I usually use 2, but for this mask I just used 1 since it's an example. And then of course you're going to need something to pin your fabrics together with or hold your fabric. Some people like to go crazy and just not pin it. That's fine. If you like to live the dangerous life, go right ahead. But I just don't like to live dangerously, so I pin it all together. You want to pin your 2 right sides together with the fabric with the interfacing on the outside so that when you turn it inside out and eventually your interfacing is going to be on the inside. And as you're pinning, you need to remember that you need to leave a gap, and also remember to pin inside the corners for your elastic. So you're going to tuck your elastic into the corners, as you'll see in just a minute, if I can ever bring this into actual frame instead of just moving it about. Yeah, here's the elastic. So you're going to take the elastic and you're going to tuck it into each corner. You're going to leave about 1/4 inch on each end because you're going to need a corner to your mask. So if you're using elastic instead of string, tuck it in on the sides. And I really wish that my hands were in frame. Why are my hands not in frame? I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. Here's the elastic part. So sort of. You can kind of see. Eventually you'll see an example of actually pinning the elastic. Here we go. I realized I wasn't in frame. That little X that I just did was to mark where I stop when I'm sewing. Here's the elastic example. Okay, so you're going to do like a horseshoe with a little bit on each side for your corners, and then you're going to pin your elastic down in between your 2 layers. That's so when you turn it inside out, your elastic is attached on both sides. There are other ways to do this. There are plenty of other tutorials, but yeah. Oh, that's me making a TikTok. Yeah, you can totally do it any way that you want. Lots of other tutorials, but basically you're just sandwiching lots of stuff together to create your mask. And once everything is pinned together and in place, you're going to go to your sewing machine or hand sew all of it together. I suggest a sewing machine if you have one, because it is very tedious to hand sew. But if you're hand sewing, more power to you. I do also want to add that the elastic is about 7 inches long. You can do it longer or shorter depending on how long you need it for your own ears. So once you have everything pinned and it's all nice and spiky like pinhead, you want to sew it all along the corners, and I usually like to sew it twice, stopping at my little X. Gotta leave that gap though. That gap is so that you can turn it inside out. And here you see I have completely sewn it all the way around. I was smart and I flipped it over where you can see the interfacing. So here's my little pouch, and I'm just going to reach inside and grab the elastic on the opposite side and turn it inside out, or turn it right side out, so that you can see the full mask and see basically how it all came together. So see how I'm just like pulling it out like a pillow? Think like a pillowcase and turning a pillowcase inside out. It's the same deal, and this is actually how you make pillows. You know, minus the interfacing and the elastic bit, but some people even put interfacing in pillows. Anywho, once you get this all turned inside out, you want to poke your corners like I'm poking my corners. So you just kind of jab at them with your finger and they poke out. Also something you do when making pillows. And once all your corners are pointy, you need to flatten it out and top stitch it. This, of course, makes it a little flatter and makes it just look neater. So what you do is you just smooth it out like this, and then you sew all the way around. I usually start with a 5/8 inseam. So a 5/8 seam inside, and then I go in just a little bit more and close up that pocket hole on the side. So I tuck the little pocket hole in and sew it. And see how clean it looks? That's how you get your mask to look flat and look professional. So once that's done, you're going to have to start the pleating. Pleating is the hardest part for me because I can never get a pleat to be a perfect pleat right away, but I try. So mainly you're just going to take your part of the elastic and fold it down, and then you're going to take the part of the elastic and fold it up, and then fold it in the middle. That's the easiest way that I can do it. That's the easiest way for me to explain it, and I don't know how to explain it any other way. Just watch the video. It shows you better than me telling you, but you're basically just folding the fabric over itself to make it thicker and give you that pleat, and the pleat helps it form to your face. This is the hardest part to do on your sewing machine. Please make sure that you don't break your needles if you're sewing this on a sewing machine. It might be a good idea to hand stitch it on the inside and then go back over it on the outside with a machine stitch, but basically this is what your final mask is going to look like. And now we're at the fun part. I cut out the Black Veil Bride symbol out of a piece of paper and then traced it onto my mask. I traced it with white paint and just very lightly traced it. I wasn't worried about how thick the lines were, how opaque they were. I just wanted the design down so that I could remove the paper, and eventually, once I have it all done, I remove the paper and I fill it in and make everything darker, and it looks so cute. To create this painted look, I actually used fabric medium and acrylic paint, and I mixed them together. The directions are always on the back of the fabric medium, but that makes it washable and makes it flexible. So this is me adding a little bit of purple to the corners and the insides of it, basically just outlining the whole logo in purple, because the new colors for the night are purple and white and black. So it just made sense to me to add a little bit of purple to it. See, it's not really that hard. Just a few steps and then you have something really cool. Of course, I turned my acrylic paint into a fabric paint using a textile medium, something I already had from when I was making cosplays. So that's how I got my design on there, but you can use anything that you have. So here's the finished product. With this pattern, it does fit really snug through here and under the chin because of the pleats. The pleats really draw it into your face. And of course, you can always bend in the pleats and bring your design in a little bit, maneuver it, cup it around your nose a little bit, whatever. Some people even use wire to put in the top part of theirs so that they can form it closer to their nose, but I've learned that with this pattern for my face, I keep wanting to say MySpace, but I've learned that with this pattern for my face specifically, it fits perfect around the nose, mouth, and chin, so I don't have to do any alterations or use a wire. But it's all about your face shapes, and your preference. No face is the same shape, really. Like I said, I was making masks for my mother, and I had to remake them all because they just didn't fit her. I do really love this mask though, because it's Black Veil Brides on one side and it's music notes on the other, so I can interchange them if I want, but I usually don't. And because I turned it into fabric paint, these are easily washable. And that's super important, is that the masks can be washable. So if you use a paint, make sure that it's a fabric paint that's going to stick to the fibers of the fabric that you're using. Cotton's a really good fabric for holding that kind of stuff, so that you can wash them, washing machine, or hand wash them. Personally, just walk in the door, take my mask off, throw it in the washing machine, and then wash my hands, and then wipe down the washing machine where I touched it. But some of you might choose to throw it in the sink and hand wash it that way, or hand wash it in a bucket, any kind of thing. But make sure that you're washing your masks anytime you leave the house. In addition to the Black Veil Brides mask, I actually did make 3 other masks and themed them around bands. The next mask that I made was an Ice 9 Kills mask, and I'm going to cut to the footage of me painting that. And it's so super cute. I love the ghost face. That finished product looked like this. So super cute. And then I've got the little IX down here for Ice 9 Kills. It's a very obvious ghost face mask. and I just love it. Again, if it's real snug around my nose, real tight up here because of the pleats. But this one, I used a thicker elastic, which is actually more comfortable than the thin elastic that I used for a Black Veil Bride's mask. The white is softer and it's thicker, so it feels better behind the ears. But both are comfortable, but I do say that the thicker, softer elastic is my preference. The next mask is a falling in reverse inspired mask. This one is probably my simplest paint design, but the only part that I didn't hand paint is the big word, and that's because I wanted to be super blocky letters, but everything else was freehand, and everything else was just like on the spot deciding to do it. I'm really proud of this one, so I'm going to cut to me painting this one. Isn't that cool? Like, very last minute, I decided how to do the top part to make it look like it was scratched in, like you were scratching into metal or something. And then I love doing the box around it like it was a warning sticker. So this is my finished falling in reverse mask. It's very subtle until you get right up on it. Most people will only see the zombie until you get right up on it, and then it says, "I'm not a zombie." Which, of course, is a nod to Falling in Reverse song, "I'm Not a Vampire." I absolutely love that song. I have for a very long time. And I used the Falling in Reverse neon pink and neon blue colors to sort of nod the new era. And for this one, I used the black elastic as well. And I also used black thread for the trim. And then lastly, I made a motionless in white inspired mask. This mask is one of my favorite of the ones I made, and that's just because of what it says. And I'm going to cut now to me painting it, then we'll all realize together exactly what it says. That's right, it says bleh, the signature Chris Motionless lyric that we all love. I love this one. I think it's so adorable. Just cannot wait to wear this one out in public. It's going to be so much fun. This I actually did take a little bit more time with as far as what it looks like. I used a green top stitch to top stitch this purple on. It's actually a totally separate piece of fabric that I sewed it on top like an applique. And that's because when I think of Motionless in White, I think of the Frankenstein Motionless in White shirt that I have that is green, purple, and white. So that's what I themed this around, was the green, purple, and white shirt that has Frankenstein on it. And of course I had to put that signature lyric. So that is how I made my own band-inspired face masks to wear out into public and draw attention to myself like I don't already. I'm honestly so proud of these. I think they're super cute. I can't wait to wear them to conventions and just out into the general public, and I can't wait to feel cute because I feel real cute in those, and they don't feel as restricting as a normal generic mask. I do also have a Ghost of Ohio mask, but it literally just looks like my dress in mask form. It's got the same lace and it's got the same fabric. It's basically leftovers from when I made my Ghost of Ohio dress, and I recently wore it, so it's in the wash, so that's why I'm not showing it. But I do have a Ghost of Ohio themed mask too. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Even if you don't use the tutorial, I hope you enjoyed seeing me make them and see what I have made, because I had so much fun making these. If you do happen to use my pattern and my dimensions and things and this video as sort of a tutorial, please, please, please tag me on your social media, because I would love to see them. Love to see them. So for the comments down below, let me know which of these masks was your favorite, and also let me know which band you would make a mask for. Which band inspires you enough that you would make a mask to represent them? Let me know down in the comments, and if you don't talk to me about those things, just talk to me about something, because you guys know I love for you to talk to me in the comments. Just talk to me. I love for you to talk to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye.